105 West Main Street in downtown Vermilion. The Spa at Winnie Mae's is proud to support programming on Coyote News. The Spa at Winnie Mae's, providing salon and spa services for men, women, and children.
Coming up on Coyote News, how downtown bars deal with underage drinking.
Plus, the kickoff to Dakota Days. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Good evening, I'm Sierra Prue.
And I'm Rachel Peckosh. We'll have those stories and more, but first, Dakota Days starts next week, but the countdown's already begun. The D-Days Committee kicked off events on Monday to rally the students in advance of homecoming week. In addition to many speakers, the Spirit team performed the school song. D-Days events were canceled in 2020, so it's been nearly 2 years since students have had the D-Days experience. Committee member Ashley Charlie says the event brings the USD family together again after a year of separation. Other speakers included former Miss Dakota Alyssa Matt of the Alumni Association and Dean of Students Kim Grieve. The event came to an end as the first sheet of the D-Days countdown calendar was ripped away. Coyotes can keep up with the calendar in the muck. A sheet is torn off every day until the start of D-Days.
2021 Miss South Dakota Caitlin O'Neill is visiting USD on Monday. O'Neill will present a program about mental health and her own struggles and recovery. She is a South Dakota native who has suffered from mental health issues, including an eating disorder while in high school. Since then, she has created a guide to regaining and maintaining a healthy attitude and lifestyle. Miss South Dakota is partnering with the South Dakota Department of Health and the USD School of Health Sciences to enrich her presentation and guidance program. The program is free and open to the public. O'Neill will be competing in the Miss America pageant in December.
The theater department kicks off the first of their fall productions with Fun Home tomorrow. They're scheduled to have 6 shows this year, including 3 musicals, 2 plays, and a bill of 1-act plays. Audiences will not be socially distanced, but are encouraged to take whatever precautions they feel necessary. Around 30 students are involved in the production, including the cast, production team, and the running crew. They've been rehearsing 5 times a week for the past 4 weeks in preparation for the musical. With fewer regulations than last year, the students are still filling out what the new protocols should be, sometimes rehearsing in masks and sometimes without. The show runs Thursday through Saturday beginning at 7:30 each night with a matinee on Sunday afternoon at 2.
Last Thursday morning, firefighters responded to a fire at the Vermilion High School. A custodian spotted smoke in the hallways and called 911. A small fire in the chemistry storage area was quickly extinguished with less than 100 gallons of water. There were few students and faculty inside the building at the time of the fire. Vermilion Fire Chief Matthew Callahan says that the chemistry classroom and storage area suffered extensive smoke damage. The VFD called in Sioux Falls Fire Rescue's hazardous materials team to help deal with the chemicals involved in the lab. Classes were canceled for the day and moved online for the following week. Students will return to in-person classes on Monday.
Still to come on Coyote News, demolition of a building for a new parking lot. Stay with us.
The Media and Journalism Department has opened my eyes to a world of new careers and occupations that I never knew were possible.
I'm an M&J major because I wanted to be a part of something that is important, and whether we realize it or not, media and journalism is around us every single day.
The Media and Journalism Department has allowed me to gain pretty hands-on experience and jump right into student media activities.
Climbing's awesome because it's challenging, both mentally and physically.
You gotta love climbing because even when you're not climbing, you get a great view.
Climbing's great because I feel like Spider-Man.
Climbing is great, because even my nerd friends can do it.
Climbing's awesome because there's always someone who has your back.
Come to the rock wall and figure out why climbing's awesome for you.
This is Coyote News.
Changes may be coming to diversity offices in South Dakota universities. In a press release published last month, the South Dakota Board of Regents announced a revamp of civic, American history, and critical race theory education. In the plan, the board outlines their objectives to provide a greater opportunity for all students, advance the tradition of American public universities, prepare students for responsible citizenry, and promote non-discrimination. Samuel Falk, a third-year student, says he wants more details about the project.
It seemed pretty vague. They used a lot of the non-specific language, which just kind of leads to me being confused about, what even the goal of the document is.
Opportunity centers are ongoing. The board says they will assess and address the needs of students on an individual level. The action plan will be discussed at the next meeting in Rapid City on October 6th and 7th. September Suicide Awareness Month, and USD's Cookhouse Counseling Center has new programs to aid students. Coyote News' Michael Stake is live in the muck with details. Michael?
Thanks, Sierra. I'm live in the muck with Jacob Johnson, a counselor for the Student Counseling Center. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And if a student sees someone struggling, what would be the best course of action to help?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would first suggest just, I guess, simply taking time to listen to them, understand their feelings, what they're going through, what they're struggling with, and just however you can show that person that you do care. And then I guess another good, safe course of action would be to direct them to of course, professional resources where they can get professional help, right? So for students here on campus, of course, a great place for that is the Student Counseling Center, where I work, right?
And last year, there was a bit of a trouble setting up appointments. How is the Student Counseling Center bettering so that doesn't happen this year?
Sure. So admittedly, I can't speak much about last year as I wasn't actually here, but from my understanding, it's not too difficult for students to set up appointments. You just kind of go on the website and everything that you should need to set it up should be there. And we actually do offer same-day appointments, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. So hopefully that would, lead to it being accessible for students.
And lastly, what is the best way for students to connect with the counselors?
Connect. Well, I suppose you could reach out to them by calling into the center, by setting up an appointment online. Other than that, I don't know. Did I answer the question there?
Yes.
Okay, sure thing.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, no problem.
Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Michael Stake.
Thanks, Michael. To schedule an appointment, go to the Student Life tab on the USD website.
2020 Senate Bill 40, Section 6 gave approval for the demolition of Julian Hall as well as its addition. The hall has been on campus since 1950. The demolition plans are related to the new Health Sciences building, which is currently under construction. Julian Hall was used for student housing, but is now primarily used for offices and classrooms for various health science programs. Once the new Health Sciences building is completed, existing programs will move there. As of now, the demolition plans are in place when the Health Sciences building is completed. The plan is to turn Julian Hall into a parking lot to serve students, faculty, and staff. The demolition is scheduled for late 2022 or early 2023.
State health officials say nearly 64% of South Dakota residents aged 12 and older have gotten their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and about 58% are fully vaccinated. Out of the nearly 775,000 vaccine doses, over 431,000 are Pfizer, about 315,000 are Moderna, and less than 28,000 are Johnson & Johnson. As of today, 605 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed and 1 new death. The latest fatality brings the state's pandemic death toll to 2,109. There are 226 people currently hospitalized in the state.
The City of Vermilion's Downtown Street project continues to draw visitors, but the area has already been popular with college students. As Coyote News' Hannah Gokenauer reports, some students go a step too far to participate in downtown activities.
Underage drinking is a pastime for college students throughout the years. Downtown life is a big part of Vermilion for everyone who lives here, especially college students. But not all that participate are 21 or older.
Honestly, I think the bars do a better job than they probably did 10 years ago at screening people. That's been a combination of both the bar owners stepping up and the police department taking certain enforcement steps over the years to improve that. And it's been a sometimes contentious collaboration, but it's been a collaboration. I think that they have actually gotten less lenient than they were many years ago. Fake IDs have gotten superior over the years. I think they've gotten better at it for a variety of reasons. One, they've taken more responsibility.
The Vermilion Police Department works with the bars to ensure that everyone is being safe and following the rules. For Coyote News, I'm Hannah Gokenauer.
Thanks, Hannah. Using a so-called fake ID is a Class 1 misdemeanor in South Dakota. Punishment could include losing driving privileges for up to 1 year.
The Vermilion City Council is preparing for legalized medical marijuana. Initiated Measure 26 took effect in July, but the details of how the city plans to regulate marijuana continue to take shape. City Council members met with public stakeholders last spring to discuss IM26. Local ordinances were passed in June allocating medical marijuana dispensaries and licensing in the city of Vermilion. The council opted not to place a cap on number of licenses they'll be distributing. Council members will be meeting to discuss licensing fees. They expect to have the applications open for filing in late October.
A couple of records were broken over the weekend.
That's right, Rachel. When we return, Kyle and Sydney will have details on those games and more.
My favorite part about the CDC is like the community aspect.
All the events have really good food and like activities and things that you just learn new things about.
This is Coyote News.
This is Coyote Sports. I'm Kyle Ireland.
And I'm Sydney Funderman. The Coyotes had some big wins over the weekend, and we have details.
The Coyote soccer team made program history on Sunday. USD defeated the Iowa State Cyclones 1-0, marking the first time the Coyote soccer team has defeated a Power 5 team in the history of the program. Alexis Mitchell headed in the lone goal of the game, scoring her second goal of the year, assisted by Jordan Centineo. Iowa State threw everything at goalkeeper Carolyn Lewis, who stepped in at halftime, shooting it in her direction 10 times. 4 on goal, but Lewis was able to shut down all of the Cyclone attacks in the second half. The Yotes will take a week off to prepare for Summit League play and will be back at home October 1st and 3rd, taking on a pair of purple teams in conference newcomers St. Thomas and Western Illinois.
Fall intramural sports are in full swing at USD. The intramurals began in late August. Fall intramural sports include soccer, co-rec volleyball, flag football, sand volleyball, co-rec basketball, dodgeball, and floor hockey. Not only do intramurals offer the opportunity for USD students to play, but also officiate games. Students of varying ages and majors come together to participate in these sports. Last Friday, the Wellness Center hosted an event called Rave at the Welly. Intramural events were played in the dark under black lighting. Both the volleyball and dodgeball tournament took place. The fall intramural season ends in late November, and the spring intramural season begins in late January. Spring intramural sports include basketball, wiffle ball, indoor soccer, softball, and more. Students can register for intramural sports at imleagues.com.
USD's D1 players are in the news this week following big wins over the weekend. Among the teams to watch is Coyote softball. Coyote News' Philip Larson is live in the muck with Alicia Sains. Phil?
Thanks, Kyle. I'm here in the muck with Alicia Sains, who is a softball player here at USD. Alicia, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So the softball team might not have been affected in terms of having limited fan attendance last year, but what does it mean for the team to have fans back in full capacity?
I think having fans back just really helps the team with our confidence and our motivation to play the game. Just having them behind our back when things are going tough, having them there when things are going great, just really makes the game so much more fun to play.
And with having the fall season return, how does that help in terms of the importance with preparation to get the team prepared?
I think that our fall is just for learning and building for spring. I think our team should peak in spring instead of fall. I don't think that we need to be focused so much more on beating out every team. I think we're doing more learning and developing as a team together so that we come as a whole during spring.
Gotcha. And how's practice going so far?
Practices are great. They get a little long, they get a little tiring, but I know that we're practicing for something good. We all have a mindset that we're going to get to in the end. So I think every practice means something and every reps count.
Anything specific you guys are looking to improve upon this year?
Our hitting, we need to improve on our hitting. That's the main priority of the game. We need to score runs, and we just need to get some hits.
All right. Thank you so much, Alicia.
Thank you for having me.
Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Philip Larson.
Thanks, Phil.
The Coyote football team is getting ready to start conference play on Saturday against Missouri State. The Yotes wrapped up their non-conference schedule with a win over Cal Poly, putting them at 2-1 for the year. USD got on the board early with a Mike Mansoure 13-yard touchdown run. They didn't look back, scoring another touchdown just 2 minutes after with a 54-yard touchdown connection between Carson Camp and Carter Bell. 3 more touchdowns and 2 field goals before the half put the Coyotes up 41-7. Backup quarterback Cole Strenstrom found the back of the end zone on a 2-yard carry. Cal Poly was able to tack on 7 more points before the time expired, but it wasn't enough as the Coyotes walked out of a sold-out stadium on top, 48-14. The Yotes will be back in action in Springfield, Missouri, while they will take on the Missouri State Bears.
The USD cross-country team ran in the Woody Greeno Invitational in Lincoln on Saturday. The men's team clocked in at 6th place. Redshirt junior Murga Gamea was able to get on the podium in back-to-back events, placing 3rd in Nebraska. The women's team kept in a pack and finished 4th on the day, with the 5 scoring runners finishing under 30 seconds apart. The cross-country team will compete in the Roy Griak Invitational in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Friday, where the women finished on the podium back in 2018.
This week we're getting ready for the Jackrabbits. But last week, the volleyball team was down in Kansas participating in the Shocker Classic. The Coyotes fought hard but ended up empty-handed as they fell 3-2 against Wichita State, 3-0 against number 17 Creighton, and 3-1 against Wyoming. They opened play with a back-and-forth contest between Wichita State forcing a fifth set, but the Shockers prevailed 15-13, clinching their only win on the weekend. Senior libero Lolo Weideman hit a career milestone in each of the 3 games, tallying a career high of 30 digs, a 3-set high of 19 digs, and a recorded dig number of 1,000 in her collegiate career. The volleyball team will be kicking off Summit League play inside the SCSC, taking on 2 I-29 foes, hosting in-state rival SDSU on Friday and sister state opponent NDSU on Tuesday. That's all for your Coyote sports.
Coming up on Coyote News, students told us if the theater or their home was better for watching movies.
There is so much more to media and journalism than just those 2 words.
It's really shown me things that I never thought I was capable of doing, and I'm actually not too bad at it.
Even though you think you may want to do one thing, this major exposes you to everything.
The media and journalism department has helped me turn my dream into a reality by putting me in the position to succeed.
This is Coyote News.
In this week's Out and About, we asked students if they'd rather watch a movie in the theater or at home.
Here's what they had to say.
Definitely in theaters because the chairs are comfier and mostly because of the movie theater popcorn.
I prefer to watch it in my home because I like to have subtitles, and so that's easier for me.
Definitely theater, especially after the pandemic.
I would probably rather watch a movie at the theater because you get that special moment of going out and like buying candy, buying popcorn, having fun. It's just that much more special when you could be at home and watching it whenever you want, and that's just not as fun.
Stream it because then I can just sit in my home or like in my bed or something.
I think at home because I'm homebody and also cheap.
I would rather watch a movie in the theater. I think it's got a better overall experience. I like the whole popcorn, pop, having other people there. I think it's just a better thing.
Probably at a movie theater because if it's a big movie, I'd like to see other people's reactions to it.
I would rather watch a movie at home because I like to cuddle with my dogs and be all cozy in the blankets.
I say movie just because you get like the sound and the atmosphere along with the
Well, I have to admit, I'm a sucker for movie theater popcorn.
Movies at home, you can have ice cream and all the favorite candy you want.
Virginia Oliver, a 101-year-old lobster fisher who's been harvesting lobsters since she was 8. After nearly a century, she says she has no plans to stop. She tends to her traps off Rockland, Maine with her 78-year-old son. The lobster industry has changed over the decades. Oliver now uses wire traps instead of wooden ones, which are now used as art and seafood restaurants. Lobsters used to cost 28 cents when she started trapping. Now, they're 15 times that.
Pick up this week's issue of the Volant with a look at how local artists are greening Vermilion.
That's all for Coyote News. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week, now included in Spanish on our social media pages.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.